and every story can change the world. Together we are Global Speakers Talk.
Yes, and I just checked that I was unmuted, and we are live. Hello, beautiful souls and global change makers. I want to wish you a very warm welcome to each and every one of you joining us from right across the world. My name is Jan Robberts, and it is my absolute honor to open today's session of the third annual International Live Conference hosted by Global Speakers Talk. Now, Global Speakers Talk, founded in 2021 by Anshu Tiwari, began as a simple dream, a dream to create a safe, powerful, heart-led space for voices that were unheard and unseen. And today, that dream has grown into a global family where speakers, leaders, coaches, and visionaries come together not only to speak, but to uplift, to inspire, and to empower each other. And this community is truly special because it holds a beautiful blend of voices, professional keynote speakers, emerging new speakers, experienced leaders, and passionate individuals sharing their lived stories. Here at Global Speakers Talk, every voice matters and every journey is honored. We celebrate both seasoned professionals and those taking their very first steps, because this is a stage that believes in giving equal opportunities, equal respect, and equal visibility. We are deeply grateful for all the souls who have supported and shaped this community from early days of the GST until today. Incredible contributors such as Andrea, Lisa, Josephine, Maria Cheripunji, Dinesh Desai, JB Herrera, Navi, Pau, Kimberly, Jan Roberts, Dorella, Jomer, and many, many more. And each name carries a story of dedication, love, and unwavering support. Let's take a moment to appreciate them with a virtual round of applause. Now, Global Speakers Talk stands strong because you stand with us. And if you feel connected to this mission and want to get involved, simply drop a message in the chat. Because this community grows because people like you grow with us. So today's Global Teachers Talk, Global Teachers, I'll put my teeth back in, Global Speakers Talk session is all about time management and productivity with 8 amazing speakers I have the pleasure and honor to host and introduce. Now, I don't want you to get the wrong idea about time management, because we cannot really manage time, as you probably well know, but we can manage ourselves and how we use the time available to each and every one of us. 1,440 minutes, or 1,440 minutes, if I want to be precise, a day, 7 days a week. Now, we can become more effective, more efficient, and therefore more productive. And for that, we can certainly use many of the tips, the tools, the insights available to us that we have heard over the last 10 days, and no doubt we will hear much more today and moving forward over the next few days as well. And I had the pleasure of speaking at AI as well, but even with AI, people are worried, and around the world people are worried about time. And I said, well, we can never get time back. It doesn't matter how much money you've got or how little money you've got. Once time is spent, it's spent. However, if we can become more effective, more efficient, and therefore more productive in the future, there's going to be opportunities, and AI really shows that up. That we're going to have opportunities to have more time available to all of us to what matters most, whether our families, our spouses, our children, our NGOs, our communities, all the kind of things that really we don't spend enough time in, because the question, we are busy. Because are we effective or are we busy? And I hope that today we're going to learn a lot about time management and productivity. And I hope that you've got your pens and paper ready, because the insights that will come our way, and I'm excited about this because I'm always learning about all this. Every day I think we should learn something. And when you learn this, before we even start, before I bring on the first speaker, when we learn this, make sure that you also implement it, because it doesn't matter how many YouTubes you watch, how many um, books you read, how many notes you make, but if you just put them away on the shelf and say, well, that was nice, and you forget about it, it becomes shelf development instead of self-development. And the one thing we need to take control on of becoming intentional, not just have good intentions, because I know that word is sometimes confusing, but I mean, we've all had, the thing is about having good intentions means that we might do something good occasionally. But when we become intentional, we start to do something good continually. And there's the big difference. So again, I hope you have come with the right intentions today and become intentional, that what you've learned already in the past 10 days and what you're going to learn in the next 8 days. We're finished on the 19th. And there's going to be a little break in between, but what you are learning and what you say, well, I really need to do something about it. My time management is not good at best, let's say it that way. We waste so much time, and it doesn't mean that we can't relax and watch a movie or those kind of things, but how much more effective can we become? We've got so many tips and tools, even though I talk into AI and leadership as well. When all these days I've taken my pen and I started taking notes, and I've already started implementing some of the things that I've learned, because I know it's only knowledge is not power, but knowledge acted upon is power. And then that action evaluated, that now becomes powerful, because then we can walk into tomorrow better prepared. So I hope that with this time management and productivity session here today with the 8 speakers, as I said, I've got the pleasure of introducing. I hope you stay till the end, because we will also have a round table at the end as well, where we're having a small discussion with the speakers, but also leave your comments and your insights into the chat box as well, wherever you're joining us from, whether it's Facebook, whether it is YouTube, Zoom, or wherever you're dialing in from. And I'm pretty sure that you will also get something for it. So, having said that, it gives me now a great pleasure to introduce the very first speaker of today, and that is going to be Kunio Hara. Now, Kunio Hara is president and CEO of Spiral Up Co. Limited, representative director of Homi Iku Foundation. Kunio Hara is a creator of Homi Iku, an educational methodology originating from Japan. He has expanded its reach to 1 million people across 20 countries, contributing to employee retention and business performance improvement in over 700 companies. He is the author of 34 books translated into multiple languages, and a regular contributor to Forbes.com, the online edition of the US economic magazine Forbes. Hara serves as chair of the Global Shapers Community India 2025 for the World Economic Forum, and has spoken at the World Education Summit. His numerous media appearances include NHK's Asahi and Fuji TV's On the Q TV. His motto is, where there's a will, there's a way. As I said, please get your pen and paper ready as I bring on Kunio Hara.
Oh, thanks, and I appreciate for coming, and thanks for host Jam. He's great host. Thank you. The purpose of my seminar is to increase your profit for business, and to be happy and to succeed. Our dreams come true and grow and everything. My mission is to light up the workers and the people all around the world and children by Homeiku. Homeiku means praise and ways. Praise and ways. My center word is people are born to be praised, and we all exist to praise each other. I feel strong. It's truth. And I want to spread my homemade, and I want to achieve fellow Atma. One of our Earthlings' Earth concept is this truth. We all exist plus each other. I'm in Japan Last week, I went to India and Kolhapur. It's great place. And we, maybe 12 Japanese speakers. It's everyone said we love India. It's great places. So today, I want to spread my homework and I want to share my know-how, 4 steps. And before that, I want to introduce myself, okay? Actually, at first, I was 9 years old. 9. I'm in 52 years old, okay? When I was 9 years old, I felt strong. I was wonder why adults said me, so for children, no fight, no negative word, study hard, study training, adults and parents and teachers, trainer, everyone, every adults for us, children, no fighting, okay? But adults, each other, fighting, negative words. And the top leaders, and I watch TV. Why? I felt strong. I was wonder. Actually, homework started. I was 9 years old. We all express each other. I want to spread. It's homework way started. Now, I made 4 companies in Japan and Los Angeles. I love Los Angeles Lakers. And my job is trainer for company leaders and owners, educators, sometimes children, students. Oh, John already said, I wrote 30 books, Spanish and Chinese and Korean and Thailand. So I am writing 2 books next year. Achieve that. Why? So one more. I want to spread my know-how, right? Today, I want to share 4 very simple steps that can change your life, your work, and your energy, right? These 4 steps start with your heart and connect you to your mission, your vision, and your actions. Step 1. Listen to the voice of God and find your true mission and vision. Your mission and vision do not come from your heart. They come from something deeper. Maybe the voice of your parents, maybe your grandfather and grandmother, maybe the God you believe in, maybe your spirit, your heart. Ask yourself, what do I truly want to do in this life? What is the dream God wants me to live? This is the first step, right? Step 2. Write it on paper and let it go into your subconsciousness minds. When you write your mission and vision on paper, it goes into your subconsciousness mind. Actually, I am writing 20 years every day. Every day. 20 years, right? This is very important. Your subconsciousness mind makes your feelings, your focus, and your choices. Writing is not just writing. Writing connects your mission with your subconsciousness power. Okay? To connect. This is step 2. Step 3. Turn it into action. Simple action that connect to your dream. Next, change your mission and vision into small, clear actions. Actions that connect to your dream. Actions that move the process forward. You don't need big steps. Just one action each day. One small action that builds the process. Action evokes emotion, right? Emotion accelerates action. to action, right? This is 3 step. Next, step 4. Praise the process. Praise, right? Praise every day. Small step you take. Every small action is important. Every step is progress. So praise the process. I did one good thing today. I moved a little forward. I tried, I did my best. When you praise the process, your heart becomes strong. Your mind becomes bright. Your energy grows. That's step 4. Actually, at that time, I already said, I praise me 20 years every day, right? And I wrote down maybe 15 minutes every day. I use my subconsciousness and to connect my gods and my parents, my grandfather and mother, and my grandfather and grandmother to connect mission, vision, my dreams, and ambitions. There are 4 steps together. One more. Step 1. Listen to God. Find your true mission and vision. Step 2. Write it. Let it. Put it into your subconsciousness mind to connect. Number 3. Step 3. Act. Act, right? Action evokes emotion. Emotion accelerates action. Small steps that connect to your dream. Number 4. Step 4. Praise the process again and again. Let me introduce myself again. I graduated from the Osaka Institute of Technology. I worked as a salesperson for a food manufacturer. And after that, Funai the biggest marketing and human resource and consultant firm in Japan, I felt strong. I was aiming to be the best consultant ever, educator ever. Why? I decided my future. The most important point. You should decide your future. Okay? When I was 28 years old. However, that time I felt strong. The most important position in our workplace, owner, founder, manager, leader, no. I think the blue workers, many workers, right? So I want to empathize with workers' mind. The point, right? I changed jobs to be a dishwasher in a ramen restaurant, right? Do you know Japanese ramen restaurant? I changed. And I live in the restaurant second floor. I worked 4 years and it's very hard work. I had 43 days in a year and I worked 300 hours in a month. It's a very hard work. It's very, very hard work. But I got the worker's mind. However, because I want to achieve and I was aiming to be the best consultant ever, I decided my future. I want to achieve number 1 consultant educator. So I changed the job to be dishwasher in a ramen restaurant. I want to empathize with worker's mind. And now I have 750 clients and I wrote 35 books. I was number 1 consultant and educator ever on my area, right? Business area. My dreams come true. One of my hobby is triathlon and playing the piano and a lot of dreams come true. I did 4 step and self-management and the other management. Concept is praise, right? Praise. actually, maybe almost business people should know praise, but don't do, and don't know praise have the most important power. I know when I was 9 years old. So I keep maybe 40 years. My vision, my vision that time, I don't change this, our planet. One of our planet concept is I want to spread my make people who are born to be praised, and we all exist praise each other. What do you think? What do you feel? My homemade management is already 20 countries, and many people already bought and used. Next, Toyota Kaizen, and next Six Sigma. Let's self-praise and let's use to your subordinate and your family. My last message is people are born to be praised. We all exist, praise each other. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Kunio, for those early tips and tools already that we can use, because four simple steps and look what it's done. I mean, we're talking about hard work and getting a worker's mind. Well, I mean, my grandparents had a farm, so hard work was part of that as well. But 300 hours a month, and some people complain they can't find any time yet. What I'm hearing here as well is that it actually really brought it home that even with little time, you become more aware of the need to manage your time well. Because I mean, I was actually in the oil industry working 70 to 90 hours a week, and outside of that I still did other things. But I think that when you have little time, as you had with working 300 hours a week, you become more aware of the time that you have outside of that, and you need to make the most of it. But the 4 points about listen to God and find your true mission and vision, and I've written it down. Write down everything that you want to do, your vision and mission, because it goes into your subconscious as well. Tie it into action. I mean, action evokes emotion as well. And praise the process. I mean, every small step. Let's celebrate every small step. So thank you really very much for that wisdom that we already have. And I hope that, like me, you're taking notes and then actually go over them afterwards and make sure you actually bring that into being. Because, as I said, without any action, nothing happens. But I mean, the amount of books written and 2 more books coming out next year. I mean, it's wonderful. I love that, and I mean, I have a great appreciation as a student of Japanese martial arts for more years than I care to remember. 46 years by now, Ki Aikido. So I love the whole Japanese culture anyway. But I think I also love quotes and things like that. And when it says, "Don't wait for the perfect moment, create it now." We quite often, Les Brown, my friend, the mentor, said the richest place is the graveyard. The books were never written, inventions never invented, songs were never sung. So I will say to people, don't wait until tomorrow. You've got 4 points here already that you can implement and work with, and that you can become more effective. Because in the end, your time is your story, but you need to write it with purpose. People sometimes say, about time that you have, and you can't change what's happened in the past. Those pages of the book are done, but you can start a new chapter. But you have to make sure that when that new chapter starts today, you need to get a hold of that pen. You need to hold the pen and write your own story. And for that, become more effective, become time aware, so you become more productive. And that way you will not only leave a legacy, but you've got an opportunity when you become intentional and live every day intentionally, that you live a legacy. So that's my few words that I already get. I mean, I'm excited just listening to Kunio, and we've only got the first speaker. So without further ado, I will now introduce the next speaker, Tammy Deirza. In fact, Dr. Tammy Deirza, known as the Breakthrough Alchemist. She is an international best-selling author and renowned international speaker. She's an expert in helping high achievers and entrepreneurs tap into their emotional intelligence to access their inner genius, break through hidden blocks, and achieve sustainable success. Her intuitive approach merges mindset, strategy, and transformation to elevate both personal and professional performance. Please help me welcome Tammy Deirza.
Hey, how are you? And thank you for that introduction. And Ansu, thank you so much for inviting me here. I am Dr. Tammy Deirza. I'm known globally as the Breakthrough Alchemist. And you mentioned Les Brown. I'm about to be on a stage with him this coming week in Vegas. So today, what I'm going to be speaking to you about, since we're talking about time management, is the alchemy of using time. By using your intuition to turn pressure into your power and flow. So, time. Everyone wants more of it. Everyone feels like they're running out of it. But the greatest innovators in history, like Einstein, Steve Jobs, Maya Angelou, and Oprah, all understood the same truth, that time isn't managed. Time is aligned. And alignment comes from intuition, and it collapses time. Einstein said that the intuitive mind is a sacred gift. And Steve Jobs said that intuition was more powerful than your intellect. You see, they didn't succeed because they hustled harder. They succeeded because they listened more deeply. Would you like to know their secrets? Well, today I'm going to show you how your intuition through your 5 sensory superpowers literally expands your time, sharpens your decisions, and brings you into your zone of genius. So let me begin with a very short story that sets the stage for everything I'm about to share with you today. When I was 11 years old, something awakened in me. I began seeing, hearing, feeling, and knowing things about people with absolute clarity. Other children came to me for counsel, and I could read their emotions, their intentions, and their truth without them saying a word. But instead of feeling gifted, I felt like a freak. So I did what many people do when the power feels too big or too different. I disowned it. And the moment I shut down my intuitive abilities, my life went into a downward spiral that led me into some of the darkest experiences imaginable, which includes homelessness. It wasn't until I embraced those same abilities that I had denied and tried to hide that everything changed. When I stopped rejecting who I was and began using my intuitive senses as my superpowers, my entire life transformed. In 1 year, I went from earning $55,000 to $294,000. That is a 434% increase in 1 year just by using my intuition. It didn't just guide me out of homelessness. It restored my purpose, my confidence, my abundance, and my sovereignty. And this is why I teach what I'm about to share with you today, so that you too can be the catalyst for your success by aligning your mission with time. So let's talk about what most people typically do to manage time through tools, tactics, and calendars. But time isn't mechanical, it's energetic. Think about it. You've had days where you were busy for 8 hours and absolutely nothing happened. And you've had moments where one clear decision shifted everything in your reality. That's not alignment. Your relationship with time is determined by the state of your energy, and your energy is influenced by your intuitive senses. So here's the real truth. You already receive intuitive information through your 5 sensory superpowers. You already know about your 5 senses and that everyone has them. But did you know that there's a physical and a non-physical side to them? Clairvoyance is seeing, but in the non-physical, it's clear seeing, visions, ideas. Think about Steve Jobs and how he saw the phone before it ever came into existence. Clairaudience, clear hearing, guidance, and inner truth. Clairscent, which is smelling, clear smelling. It's the symbolic sense of smelling the truth. You probably heard people say, I smelled a rat when someone spoke. That is clairscent. Clairgustance, that is clear tasting. It's tasting the essence of the spoken and the unspoken and your life around you. And then clairsentience is clear feeling. It's your EQ, your emotional intelligence. So imagine how your top senses can influence how you make decisions, when you feel energized or drained, what feels aligned versus forced or pressure, or even pain, how quickly you can execute tasks when you move into that alignment of your intuitive abilities, and whether time expands or collapses for you. Your energy follows your intuitive wiring. So when you honor that wiring, time becomes spacious. When you fight it, time becomes scarce. This is why people feel behind, not because they lack time, but because they ignore the intuitive information that would make their time effortless. Intuitive flow is the most underrated productivity tool in existence. Einstein didn't think his breakthroughs, he received them by divine intelligence. Steve Jobs didn't ask the world what it wanted. He intuited it, and he talked in interviews about tapping into your intuition, your gut feeling. That is your clairsenses. They were both deeply connected to their intuitive senses. Einstein through clairvoyance, seeing, and clairsentience, feeling, and Steve Jobs through clairvoyance and clairaudience, hearing. Your genius works the same way. So let me break this down exactly how intuitive flow improves time management. Your logical mind creates long lists. Your intuitive senses highlight the one thing that moves everything forward. If you're clairvoyant, you'll see the priority. If you're clairaudient, you'll hear the right timing. If you're clairsentient, you'll feel the yes or the no. If you're clairsent or clairgustant, you'll sense the energy easily to know what is your yes and what is your no. This eliminates confusion, you overthinking, and hours wasted on the wrong tasks that really are not in alignment with your highest self. You see, intuition tells you when to act, and in divine timing. Have you ever noticed that when you push at the wrong time, everything resists and the tasks just seem to get harder and nothing gets completed? And yet, when you act in the right moment, everything just falls into place. That's not luck. That's intuitive timing. Time opens for you when you're aligned. Intuition reveals how to work with a lot less effort. Your sensory superpowers guide you to your natural flow state. Clairvoyants need visual clarity, so they will look for signs. Clairaudience need quiet voice notes and conversations. One of the things that I loved about Steve Jobs was how he listened to those around him. He really listened. That's why I said he's clairaudient. Clairsentients need emotional peace and a sense of belonging and knowing when it's the right time. Clairsense and clairgustance need to sense things through tasting the essence. You see, it's located so close of what is being said. What does this taste like? What does this feel like? When you work with your intuitive wiring, your brain accelerates and you become much more creative, more confident, and much more productive. And time, as I said before, collapses. This is why people like Jobs and Einstein produced world-changing ideas in birth flow. Intuition collapses time, it reduces pressure, and it turns effort into ease. So let's think about creating sovereign productivity. And I'm going to give you some ideas, 3 steps that will help you with this. Here's a simple intuitive framework that you can use daily. Acknowledge your energy first. Before doing anything, ask, what intuitive sense is strongest for me today? Am I noticing myself seeing something, hearing something, or feeling it or tasting it? Your dominant sense shifts your timing, focus, and approach. Number 2, align your intention. Set one feeling tone for the day: peace, clarity, flow, joy, focus, sovereignty. Also do 10 things before 10 a.m. with you blocking off time to do so. This sets your intentions on the road to alignment. This becomes your energetic compass. Step 3, act from intuitive guidance instead of what everybody else is telling you. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you sense through the senses? What do you feel about it? Does it feel convoluted? Does it feel good? Does it feel easy? You see, small aligned energy is exponentially much more powerful than massive forced action. This is how sovereign people lead. This is how geniuses create. And this is how time becomes your ally instead of your burden. What I have for you today, if you find yourself wanting more, if you want to know what your top senses are, I have 2 free gifts to give to you today to support you in going deeper and finding out more about who you are and how you function, how you receive information. I brought these gifts, and the first one is my 17-chapter audiobook entitled Unleashing Your Sensory Superpowers. This is free right now. So go to the website that you're going to see popping up and go get that free 17-chapter book that will talk to you about your senses, how you know which ones you have, and how to tap into them to get into your zone of genius. The second one is listed on that same landing page where you can take a quiz to find out what your dominant sensory superpower is. So you see, you are a supernatural being here having a human experience. And what if you could tap into your zone of genius much easier, much faster by using your discernment, your intuition, and have the clarity to know which way to go and which way not to go, who to hire, who to become your clients, how to reach clients easier. Imagine knowing exactly how you are wired for intuition and using it to expand your time and your creativity and your success. In closing today, I just want to say you don't need more hours. You don't need anything other than your alignment. You don't need to work harder. You need to listen deeper like these experts and influencers in life. Your intuition is not mystical. It's actually the most powerful productivity tool ever created, and it's in your toolbox. When you honor your sensory superpowers, you step into flow, clarity, and the business of your dreams. I am Dr. Tammy Demirza, the Breakthrough Alchemist, and this is the Alchemy of Time. You are watching Global Speakers Talk.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Dr. Tammy, for, again, I can hardly keep up with my writing. But people, I've seen the link for Dr. Tammy in the Facebook link as well, and it's below here as well. Please go there, because if you haven't got anything out of this yet, you've been asleep for the last 10-15 minutes. And then it's time to wake up and get it afterwards, or see the recording. But the things that really stood out for me here already, Dr. Tammy, is about this whole intuitive flow that we need to really tap into, because we are always so busy being busy that we just unwind and really let that flow through us, within us and out, and therefore we keep making the same mistakes, that we keep being busy. I'm hearing that from you as well, and there is so many again nuggets I've written down, but even the productivity. Acknowledge your energy first. Align your intentions, and there you also gave do 10 things before 10 a.m. People, 10 a.m., not 10 p.m. Most people struggle to do 10 things by 10 p.m. But 10, that might mean that you need to wake up a little bit earlier. But at least people make use of the time, because act from the intuitive guidance from within as well, and listen deeper. Don't work harder. Honor your sensory superpowers. I mean, I've written all it, and I'll write it out again neatly, because I'm scribbling here at the moment. But Dr. Tammy, thank you so very, very much for the wisdom that you shared with her, and give my regards to my friend and mentor Les Brown. I love him to bits. But yeah, people connect with her. I said the chat is going wild as well. Keep connecting in the chat as well, and make sure that you download these things. But you need to go to the website for that. And I can see the link here as well. And I know Anshu Tiwari who's really on the game as well. She put it www.freegiftfromtammy.com. So I mean, if you haven't got it yet, you've got, and it's there below, and the ticker tape again as well. So please, people, go to it. And Dr. Tammy, thank you for your presence here, and for all the insights and the wisdom that you've shared with all of us today.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Okay, well, I mean, this. If you haven't got anything out of it yet, I don't know what you've done. And if you haven't written anything down yet, people, please. I hope you're recording it if you're not writing it down. But you need to listen to this again, because this is gold, people. So when you look at this, because I wrote some things down when I started. I mean, I managed my time a little bit better and started writing down some things. Like Les Brown, I love quotes as well. And it says, time is a treasure. Spend it on what sparks joy. Each hour is a gift, and wrap it with purpose. Don't waste time on what doesn't fill your heart. Again, that connects to a lot of that we've heard already. And time is one of our most valuable resources. It's important to recognize its worth and spend it wisely. And one more I want to share with you. A quote is, choose to spend your time on memories, not regrets. So again, when they look at people, they did a questionnaire of people who were spending time at the end of their life in their late 80s and 90s, and they were asking them, what would you have done differently if you had to live all over again? Now, that's always interesting, but one thing they never said, I wish I'd spend more time in the office. And a lot of the things came out. Spend more time with my family. Spend more time doing the things that I actually love. Spend more time communicating with my family and friends, and telling the people that I love that I really love them, but not wait until the end. And that goes both ways, of course. Don't tell the people. By the time don't wait till a eulogy till you tell the rest of the world how much you appreciated people. Start connecting with people. Make that time to connect with people, but also, as you heard now very much from Dr. Tammy as well, make time to connect with yourself. Because you can't give what you haven't got, and you need to fill yourself with love. You need to if you want to give love, you need to fill yourself with hope if you want to be hopeful to the rest of the world and give hope to others. But there is so many of those kind of things, and you can make it up yourself. But if you want to do stuff, if you want to make a real difference, if you want to live a legacy rather than hopefully leave one, and that's when they speak about you in your eulogy, live that, experience that with your family, your friends, experience that with the people who matter now. But for that to happen, if it hasn't happened yet, start really thinking into the gold nuggets that everybody's sharing with you already. We've had 2 speakers. We've got another 6 amazing speakers to come. And by saying so, I now want to actually present the next speaker to you. And that is going to be Yvette Leow. Yvette Leow is a dynamic and motivational speaker who has inspired and empowered audiences with her transformative approach to health and mindset. A graduate of the National University of Singapore with a degree in biomedical science, she is also a certified hypnotherapist who has helped countless individuals in panic attacks. After losing both parents to cancers, she started to explore alternative and natural health approaches and embarked on her own journey of inner healing. Her inspirational story is engaging, relatable, and touching, and has the power to encourage immediate, life-changing action. She now teaches middle-aged women with diabetes how to reverse illness naturally. Yvette offers keynotes and meditation workshops in organizations, guiding people to a vibrant life and lasting transformation. People, help us in the chat as well and keep the chat going. Give your insights in the chat as well. But, let us know how you think about everything that's happening. But at this point, I want you to help us well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen Roberts. I think you pretty much said everything that I wanted to say. Just kidding. Okay. So we all know that life is unfair, but the one thing that is equal and fair, regardless of who you are, is time. And I don't care whether you are Donald Trump or Elon Musk or just normal folks like you and I. All of us only have 24 hours a day. And unlike money, time is a priceless, non-renewable resource. Once it's gone, you can never tell, not unless you are Doctor Strange or Loki. That's what I want you to see and view time as what it really is, has a valuable resource. Let us talk about our time here on Earth. Do you know that 150,000 people die every day globally? The fact that we are alive this very moment means we need to not waste time and treasure every second that we have. I remember the day 5th September 2011 vividly. Just imagine you were there with me. I walk into my house at 5 p.m. because I'm on course that day and I come home early. And my house was so quiet. So I walked to my parents' bedroom door and I turned the doorknob. And I see my mom still lying in bed at 5 p.m. So I just walk up to her and just tap her on the shoulders lightly and say, Mom, it's already 5 p.m. Are you okay? And she just moved a little and make some noise, but she still continued to sleep. And after a while, she walked into the kitchen, turned on the radio like what she always does every day. And I shared a tender moment with her. I say to her, Mom, I will take care of my little brother because I'm the eldest in the family. Because I know how much she worries about my little brother. So you don't need to worry about him, okay? And she smiled at me brightly and nodded. And so after that, I just walked to the bathroom and take a shower. And within seconds, I hear a loud bam sound. And then I shut my eyes for a moment because I know what these sounds mean. I brace myself. And the minute I opened my eyes, I grabbed my towel from the rack and I ran out of the bathroom and I see my mom lying on the kitchen floor, motionless and unconscious. And I just ran up to her and just tapped her, Mom, are you okay? I just keep shouting, Mom, are you all right? And I do not know what to do. I feel so powerless that I could not do anything to help my mom. So I ran to my room and grabbed my mobile phone and called 995, which is the emergency number in my country. And within 10 minutes, 6 paramedics entered my home and 4 of them put my mom on the stretcher. And I was crying all the way as I followed the paramedics out all the way to the car park to where the ambulance is parked. And I sit next to the driver at the front seat of the ambulance while the rest of the paramedics are at the back of the ambulance trying to resuscitate my mom. And that night, my mom passed away. Why am I sharing this story with you? I want to remind you that every moment matters. Every second matters. To the 150,000 people that died today, they don't get another second. They don't get another minute more. They don't get another chance. That's how precious time is. So let us look at every minute, every hour, every day as if they count and make it count, because we do not know when is our last day here on earth. And when you manage your time, you manage your life. So time management is life management. Do you feel that before the age of 30, you feel like you could live forever? You feel invincible? But after the age of 30, you suddenly come face to face with your own mortality, and time suddenly seems to move so fast. I remember I have a close girlfriend at high school, and she was really tall and pretty, and many boys used to go after her. And she was the one who taught me how to do makeup. And we would spend hours in the toilet in school doing our makeups together. And I was really shocked at that time to hear the news pass away at the age of 30 from breast cancer, which runs in her family. Cancer at 30 years old, I could not believe it. That's just too young for someone to die. So we really need to value our time here on earth, because we do not know how much time we have left. And the biggest complaint I keep hearing people say is, time seems to move so fast. The older I get, 1 year seems to fly past so fast. Don't you feel that 2025 is flying by so fast that we are already in December right now? And do you know why? That's because when you are young, your brain is still forming its neural network. Everything is a new experience for you. That's why children are always so curious about everything, and they ask so many questions. Time seems to move so slowly when you are a kid, or at least that's how the brain perceives time. But as you grow older, the neural network are hardwired. Everything becomes a routine. You take the same route to your favorite cafe for coffee. You park at the same lot every day. You sit in the same chair at work every day. And then you buy dinner back from your few favorite stores at night every day. You go from living in the box to parking in a box to working in a cubicle box. Life is just going from home to work and then back home again. And everything becomes a blur. Life becomes a routine. Everything is predictable. And do you know what people call this? This is called a midlife crisis. So get out of the box, get out of a routine, and start creating new or novel memories with your loved ones. Then you will find that time seems to move slowly for you. And valuing time simply means creating more opportunities to create more happy memories, doing the things you love with the people that you love. What I'm holding here in my hand right now, this device here, is the one thing that can either fast track your productivity or drain your productivity like nobody's business. A person living today can do things 1 million times more productive and faster compared to someone living in the 1800s. And with this device, you can download in your fingertips data and information within seconds compared to someone who lived 150 years ago. All with the same device, you can be going down the rabbit hole of social media, getting all the dopamine hits from checking the number of likes and comments in the post that you just posted. And before you know it, 4 hours is gone. Another wasted day, more wasted time when you could be doing something productive. The mobile phone is a double-edged sword. It is powerful, either a powerful resource or a powerful time waster. What you want to do is to have new learnings. Keep learning new things and new skills to increase your productivity, just like what you're doing right now when you are watching Global Speakers Talk. You have a choice. So which is it for you? Here are my 3 tips to help you to be more productive and rewire your brain to take action. Number 1 is to set a hard deadline and to have a little bit of stress. We all know that too much stress is bad for us. but a little bit of stress just give you the enough drive and momentum to take action, to get moving. When I joined a speaking tournament recently, the tournament was on a Saturday, and I was only informed that I have progressed to the next round of the tournament on Thursday, which means that I'll be competing live online on Saturday. And that means I have less than 2 days to produce a speech and practice it for Saturday. Am I super scared, nervous, and anxious? Hell yes. But I still managed to wing it and landed myself top 50 out of 3,000 in the speaking tournament, the People's Choice Award. So when you set a deadline for yourself, you make things happen no matter what. The second thing you do to be more productive is to delete unnecessary things or tasks that doesn't move the needle at all. Ask yourself, what is the one thing that I can do that will move the needle the most, and delete everything else that's not? The third thing you want to do to be more productive is to delegate. The best way to be productive is to really focus on the tasks that you enjoy doing and is within your zone of genius, and then delegate everything else out for others to do or pay someone else to do it. For example, I order a healthy meal delivery service to my house every day so that I do not need to think about what am I going to eat today, what am I going to cook today, or what am I going to buy from the supermarket, and that takes a lot of stress out of my life, not thinking about what to eat and what to cook. So you notice that my top 3 tips all start with a D to help you remember better. So to set a deadline, to delete and delegate, to help you increase productivity. Life is made out of moments. Some people only have 5 to 7 moments at the end of their life, while some people have a few hundreds. And when you look at time differently, having a rich and fulfilled life is simply having more moments and shared experience with the people who matter. To me, the richest person is not the person with the most amount of money in the bank, but the person who has the most amount of happy memories, lived experience, and shared memories with their loved ones. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Again, they come one after the other. Thank you, Yvette, for, first of all, sharing your harrowing story of your personal experience. But what you did is, rather than sit down, you actually took it and says, I need to live my life. And what you're telling us, the nuggets you come out with, time is a non-renewable, and that's something that we need to. You're absolutely right. As kids, from one year to the next, Christmas is upon us again, and to wait for Christmas, even from the beginning of December, seems forever. And now we don't even have to wait for it. Christmas comes upon us, and the next year is there before we know it. So, it's a non-renewable resource, and like the renewables we're talking about all the time now, time is not one of them, and every moment matters. Time management is life management. Create new memories with your loved ones, and that's also something so empowering. And you said, the fact is that the richest person has the happiest memories. It all fits in there, that we need to create memories, and by doing so, rather than working because time passes us. So I love everything that you've brought here, and also, of course, let's not forget this weapon of mass destruction. We can use it for a good, the same as AI. We can use it for good, or we can use, and quite often. We get. I've done it myself, and I sometimes do it. I get interested in something, and then I find something else, and I find something else, and I'm way away from where I should be. And if we start to do these things, the 3 Ds that you mentioned at the end, the deadline, and the fact that a little bit of stress is good. People say I work better under stress. I think they work better as long as there's not too much stress, because that's a killer. But I mean, a little bit, that keeps the line tight, and I love that. And delete the unnecessary. If only we did that more often and on a regular basis every single day. And of course, delegate. If somebody once said, if somebody can do something 80% as good as you should certainly not be doing it anymore. because then you're becoming a control freak. And I used to work for somebody who used to us, and I don't think it was good for us, but it certainly wasn't good for him either. So yeah, I again, thank you very much, Yvette, for sharing that with us, your story, and also the nuggets that you've gained from there, and the fact is, even your speaking, congratulations on winning that, and the fact is that you're speaking into us as well as every other speaker has done already and will do going forward. But I really appreciate you, and thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure listening to you and learning from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Okay, yeah, and I looking at those kind of things, and again, looking at some of the things I wrote down even before this, protect your time like a precious gem because it's irreplaceable. And another thing is a well-spent hour can bring much more joy than a wasted day. And if we're looking back, even we don't have to go that far back, not way back, but even in even today so far already, how much time have we actually wasted that we should really have been able to do more with, and why is that? Again, with some of the stuff that has already been talked about your intuition, the 4 steps, the 3 Ds, the 3 steps from Dr. Tammy in between as well, and there is so many things that we don't have to do it all at the same time. We can't do it all at the same time, but pick from what you hear today from all the speakers. Pick what suits you. Don't necessarily force yourself to do something, because even with the 3 speakers we've had already, there is enough there already that I'm sure that you can make better use of the time that you have. Make better use of the 1,440 minutes that we have every single day. And we can look at other people and say, where did they get the time from? How can they do so much more than I do? The question is not looking at them, maybe having a look in the mirror. Why am I not doing what I could do? Because we've all got potential. And the biggest regrets are unlived potential. And that's, again, that's where the graveyard comes into play again. But we need to, we owe it to ourselves. We're all here for a purpose, walking this earth. And Simon Sinek wrote the book, Find Your Why. And I think there's two days on this in a person's life that are the most important: the day you were born and the day you discover why. And it doesn't matter what age you are. I mean, there's plenty of people at a late age. I mean, General Saunders, and he was 64 years old when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken. It didn't start then, but that's when he finally came to fruition. He could have given up long before that. That's another thing. Don't give up when things don't work the first time. But make sure that you learn from the mistakes you've made in the past so you can move forward better prepared. But really, I think is building discipline and managing your time effectively are actually keys to achieving your goals. By creating small, consistent habits, you can turn your intentions into real progress. And that's really what I'm hearing here. There is so much I'm hearing, and I think by the time we're done by number 8, you can actually see a thread that there is certain things that they all talk about in different ways, and maybe one of the speakers yet to come will speak into you much more than one that's already been. But be open. They say a parachute, your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. But you need to jump, I suppose. But the thing is, do jump into this with both feet. Do jump into this with your pen and paper ready. Do jump in this with your mind open, and do jump in making the decision that today is the last day that I'm going to waste so much time. Today is the day that I'm going to start making better use of my time. And even though our festive season is coming up, we just had Thanksgiving in America, we're going to have the Christmas. Enjoy those times, build those memories, but also start thinking about, is 2026 going to be the same as 2025? And that means we haven't learned an awful lot. But what are we learning? I mean, John Maxwell, my friend, the mentor, always says, show us your calendar. And that was also something I wrote down here already. But show us your calendar, and I'll tell you how effective you are. And the thing is, he sits down at around about the year end, and he sits down he pulls himself away from his family for best part of a day, sometimes longer, and he starts going through, what did I do well over the last year? What do I need to change? We can ask ourselves that on a daily basis, 4 questions. What did I do well? What did I do badly? What can I change, and what should I never do again? That you can ask yourself that every day. But if you look over your past year and celebrate your successes, as praise your successes, as Kunio said as well. So all these kind of things are coming together. But praise yourself and celebrate successes. That doesn't mean that when you do something good, you're going to celebrate for the next month, but celebrate anyway. And it doesn't have to be elaborate, but acknowledge yourself for doing things well. That makes life so much better. And other people might not always see it, but when you've done something well, but find out what you did well in the last year, and find out what your goals and your passion and your purpose for next year are, and how are you going to start off the next year, and start looking at your calendar and doing the things that matter most. And when you start walking your purpose and your passion, when you find out your why, then your life will change in ways that you could never imagine. Your intuition starts to flow more into you start noticing things differently, because when you change yourself, be the change you want to see in the world. That means when you change yourself, transformation begins in me. That's our values-based leadership quote that we use in that program. But it actually begins with me. So I can't wait any longer. As I said, I get so excited about everything I've heard already, but I want to also now introduce our next speaker, and I have the pleasure of introducing this next speaker who I had the pleasure of being introduced by on day 2. He's a gentleman, JB Herrera. He's an AI and values-based business expert. JB Herrera is a seasoned entrepreneur, mentor, and keynote speaker with over 30 years of experience in values-based business principles and practices. Having founded 6 companies, 3 of them highly successful, he is widely recognized for his expertise in AI ethics, leadership, and sustainable growth. As a trusted host at Global Speakers Talk, JB empowers audiences worldwide with his insights that blends innovation, integrity, and purpose, inspiring professionals to thrive in today's fast-changing world. We have so much in common, this amazing gentleman and myself, and may I put your hand together and keep the comments going, and may we introduce JB Herrera as our next speaker. Thank you. Oh, have we lost the picture? I know we had you earlier on, but hopefully you are around. At the moment, you're not yet. I will talk for a little bit longer, as if I couldn't. I always said my mother always told me that I never had a problem speaking. I spoke when I came out of the womb, and I haven't stopped since. She says, you have no problem speaking, you've got a problem shutting up. And especially when I get excited. I mean, I'm passionate so many things. I'm passionate about people, and I love doing this kind of thing. I've learned. I'm constantly learning as well. That's what also that keeps you going. I think, when you get a little bit older, I mean, that's not highlights I put in just for the day. When you get a little bit older, I think you should set yourselves to learn something, whether it's a language, a hobby, a skill. They say even if you're at a job and 60% of the time you don't learn anything anymore, you should start thinking about doing something else, or at least doing something additionally. I remember I was in the oil industry. Is he there with us now? Yes, he's with us. Thank you. We now have the pleasure, and I mean, it's a live show, JB, as you know yourself. I'm glad you're here, my friend, and the floor is all yours, and you're still muted, by the way. Is it just me, or can nobody else hear him either? Can I see in the comments box if JB has a challenge with? He didn't have earlier on. We had a wonderful conversation before we started. That's a good thing about time management. Every speaker was there already. Let me have a look in the private chat. I hear from one of the next speakers as well. It's not me, JB. At the moment, we cannot hear you. That's a disaster for the speaker because I'm not a lip reader. We have time, and we'll find out as soon as you start making the right noises. Then I'll pull back. But yeah, in the meantime, unless that is a good. I can actually introduce the next speaker at the moment, so JB gets a chance to sort out. And I know the next speaker is also in the back already. It's time. We're talking about time management, productivity, and every speaker is here. Anshu Tiwari, our amazing organizer, our amazing leader in this. I can talk about this, and I will do a little bit later. But so the suggestion is that we go to our next speaker in the meantime. We're very flexible, and it's a live show, and we will manage our time. So the next speaker will be Salem. Christopher. Chris Salem is a recognized subject matter expert in emotional intelligence, EQ, specializing in its application to effective leadership, impactful communication, high-performing teams, sales acceleration, and sustainable talent development. He equips leaders and organizations with the tools to foster psychologically safe workplaces where trust, accountability, and innovation flourish. With a strategic focus on aligning emotional intelligence with business objectives, Chris helps companies unlock individuals and team potential, driving engagement, increasing retention, enhancing communication, and accelerating sales performance. His work empowers professionals at all levels to lead from within, resolve internal barriers, and build strong, emotional, intelligent cultures that outperform and outlast the competition. As a certified workplace strategist, keynote speaker, and trusted advisor, Chris delivers transformational experiences that turn self-awareness into leadership effectiveness and emotional agility into bottom-line results. He's a best-selling author, master of your inner circle, resolve the root cause, create prosperity, and co-author of Mastering the Art of Success with Jack Canfield. Got his name wrong. He also hosts 2 business leadership platforms, Sustainable Success on Voice America and Business Influencers on TAL Radio. Amplifying is a mission to develop emotional intelligence leaders and cultivate future-ready organizations. Will you please help me welcome Chris Salem?
Thank you so much, Jan, for the warm introduction. And I can relate to JB. I've been there before when there's technical difficulties, and, we have to adapt. And that's what it's all about with time. A lot of times things don't always work at the right time, so we have to adapt. With that being said, you've heard a lot of great information that has been shared here by the speakers around time. And you've heard a lot of things like, when you think about time management, can you really manage time? No. Because when you're really trying to manage time, all you're really doing is managing distractions. So I'd like you to think about each and every day, what happens. You would maybe have a plan that you're going to do this, this, and this. And for some reason, you get pulled away by someone or another situation unforeseen. And then you get caught up in something that by the end of the day, you realize that wasn't as important as you thought. And it took you away from the priorities that you had originally planned the night before or early that morning that you were going to be involved in. This happens all the time to majority of people. Because here's the thing. We can't really manage time effectively because in essence, what we're going to be doing is managing distractions. It's inevitable. But with that being said, there is a way that we can reclaim the time and use it more effectively by doing a few things that I'm going to share here today. What I'd like you to think about is if we are going to get most out of our time to be more efficient, productive, be more impactful, produce results, and help other people, and that includes yourself, obviously, first, to then help other people, we have to value our time. Now think about that. You have to value your time. So for any of you out there that could be a passive communicator, a people pleaser, I'm a recovering people pleaser. And if there are any people pleasers out there, you can relate to this. With that being said, we have a hard time saying no because we're looking for validation from the people we're serving. So we will go out of our way to take on more than we can chew and forgo the other priorities that were really important to us because we don't find the time, or we don't have enough time to do that because we're involved in trying to please other people for that validation. So we don't have boundaries. Things that I wanted to share, especially for those people that might fall into that area, is not only having boundaries, but we got to value our time, meaning that you got to put a value and a ranking on whatever priorities that you feel are the most important and within your control. That can be on a personal level, a professional level, any combination thereof, and that you are setting a certain amount of time to each task to accomplish it. Now, there are going to be things that when we do that, we got to understand there are going to be a lot of things that we can control with that task that we value the most and we've ranked it the highest. And there are going to be things that we cannot control. That's also going to play a part in the ranking process, meaning that let's say you have a task and it's got to, in order to complete it, everything's got to add up to 100%. But at that given moment for today, right now, you only have within your control 60% to do. That means that you can maximize 60% of getting that task done in a given amount of time that you've designated, that you have now put boundaries so that you're not going to allow any distractions unless it's in a medical or an emergency of some sort to interfere. That means the other 40% is outside of your control. So once you complete the 60, we have to be able to park it and then move on to the next task that you had valued in that order in order to do that. Now, one of the things that I'm going to advise anybody that if you're looking to value your time, you have to get into your head that multitasking is not productive. It is not moving you forward. It's not allowing you to get more done like you think. See, everything is energy. Everything vibrates on energy. And when you are now doing 2 or 3 different things at the same time, which a lot of passive people do, because they're trying to get things done for other people for that validation to please them. At the same time, they're still trying to accomplish what's important to them. But you're allocating at any given moment, if you're doing 3 things, 33.33% of your energy to each of those areas. Now, if it's not getting 100%, guess what? That output is not going to be the highest level of quality. It's not going to be the highest level of production. So it's important, again, that as when we are valuing our time and we can break down the tasks based upon a certain amount of time we can do it for the things that are within our control, and then layering in after another task that would be next in the rank in order to accomplish, we can actually get more things done that way. So in this case, what's very important is, if you're one of those people that tends to multitask, do multiple things at once, easily gets distracted, don't worry. 99% of the world does the same thing. Yet, what you're going to learn here from all the people sharing and what I am sharing here today is the ability to start with one thing. Don't try to do everything at once. Start with one thing. Somebody talked about here, I think it was Dr. Tammy had talked about doing 10 things that are important before 10 a.m. I can concur and agree 100%. When you can have discipline and consistency each day, doing things that are going to help your mind to be present, that's going to allow you to have more clarity and focus. That's going to allow you to then value your time and to look at it, treat each task where you dedicate 100% of your focus or your clarity and focus to it. And then you do it up to the degree that you can accomplish it within your control. So if that's 30%, 40%, 50%, whatever it is, then park it because you don't have the other percentage of of resources to complete it at that point, you move on to the next task. This allows you to be more efficient. But the way you can start doing it is being disciplined and being consistent. If you have that tendency of being scattered, easily distracted, start with a daily routine. Start in the morning with a daily routine. This is what I've done to be more intentional, to be in the moment, not in the past and the future where fear thrives or where we can be easily distracted. Get up and do something that is going to serve you. It could be something personal, like making your bed. Make your bed for 30 days. That's it. Just get up, make your bed for 30 days. And after 30 days, layer in another habit that is going to serve you and get you into the moment. That could be meditation. That could be journaling. That could be going for a walk. After 60 days, you have now 2 habits that you're working on. As you go into the next 30 days, which will make 90, you will layer in a third. See, over 6 months, you can now have 6 habits that are now getting you to learn how to be present, how to be intentional, how to be laser focused in the moment. These are the things that are going to allow you now to value your time more efficiently. So you break in one habit at a time, not trying to do everything at once. These are the things that will allow your mind to adapt and be able to be more efficient. Now, one of the things that I like to share that a lot of times people don't know about valuing your time to be more effective is learning to control what you can and letting go of what you can't. You can't control other people and situations. So if you're operating from expectations, your own and other people, good luck. Because more than likely, you are going to get distracted by other people when you're constantly operating to other people and what they want and to situations that are beyond your control. The best thing to do is focus on what you can control, and that is you. You can control your communication to yourself and others, learning to be more assertive, specific, clear, and concise to yourself and others, knowing that because you can't control another person, you can't control what they're going to. So you are responsible as the sender or the receiver for communication. So if you passive people out there, people pleasers, ask a question if the person that's asking you something is too vague or not specific, clear, and concise. You can ask them for more information. You can put up a boundary and say that I cannot help you during this time because I have other projects that are due. If I have another 24 hours, then I can help you. So it's learning how to ask the right questions and when to say no. You could control your behavior, making sure your behavior is in alignment with your communication in an assertive, not in a passive aggressive way that contradicts the communication. You want to see this entire process from an attitude that it's happening for you, not to you. Every challenge, obstacle, and setback as an opportunity to grow, learn, and move forward. Number 4 is your emotions. When we are now in the moment and intentional, learning to control what we can, we now can learn to now respond to other things outside of our control, not react. Big difference. When we can respond, we can do it with more clarity and focus and to be set with our intentions on what is the most important tasks in terms of being more effective in the time we have. And then finally, it's our action. See, many people who are trying to manage time and who are easily distracted or get caught up in things that are not as important because they don't rank or prioritize correctly, well, they're often busy but not productive. That's just another form of procrastination. And as a result of that, they're focused on by valuing your time, what are the priorities that are most important within your control to execute first, and then rank them accordingly downward. Get rid of anything that does not serve you. They call that the Eisenhower Matrix. Work on what is the must items that are most important. The should items are anything that will support the must category. That would come next. And then anything that can be delegated, they're important and urgent too, but delegate. Many of us don't know how to delegate, especially aggressive people, because they have a hard time trusting someone can do it to their level of output or quality. So they tend to do it themselves. and they take away time from other things that can make them more impactful and valuable to the people they're serving. We have to learn how to delegate so we can free up our time to the things that are most important. And then the avoid box is you get rid of it. Anything that goes there that doesn't serve the task or you personally or anybody else, get rid of. Now, I'm going to sum this up quickly because I know my time is up. When we can now learn to value our time to be more effective, I'm going to share with you to conclude the 4 pillars of success. Apply this in any area of your life or business. Number 1 is the foundation. Your foundation should be everything that I just shared here today with you. That is learning to control what you can, letting go of what you can. See things for what it is, not what you think it should be. Big difference, big mindset shift. That's your foundation. Number 2 is preparation. You have to prepare. You have to be able to value what you are going to work on, rank it or prioritize accordingly. Get rid of anything that doesn't serve you. Number 3, you got to execute on it. And then as you execute on it, you work on what you can within your control, let go of what you can't. And only then when things come into your control to complete it is when you rank it again the following day, the following week, the following month, whenever that is, to complete it. And number 4 is measurement. If you're not measuring, you don't know where you are and where you're going. So if we're going to be more efficient with our time, to value it, to be more effective, we have to apply that 4 pillars of success: foundation, preparation, execution, and finally, measurement. I hope you got a lot of value from this of the experts that shared here. There is a link here at sustainablesuccess.net/contact. If any of you would like to share where you're stuck, where you're having a challenge that could be better, a result that is eluding to you because of time management or a lack of it, let's talk. There's no obligation. I'd be happy to give you a personalized approach and direction of what you can do that will make a huge difference, not only individually, but also in your business. Value from the next speakers that will be coming on board. And it's always a pleasure to serve the Global Speakers Live. Thank you.
Wow, Christopher, again, people, I know the people have got great nuggets from there as well. I mean, I need a cup of cold water for my pen. But I mean, just to finish with, the foundation, the preparation, the execute and measurements, but also the see setbacks of opportunities. I always think of, Les Brown said, see a setback as a setup for a comeback. That reminded me of that. But also definitely let go of what you can't control, value your time. And I think if there was a people pleaser anonymous for recovering people pleasers, I'd be part of them as well. So thank you very much. And, I really appreciate you. And the people, the contact is there. People connect with Christopher as well. Get value from everything he said so far. And if you need more, the details are there. He's offering you a chance to connect with him. So take it up, because you don't get a chance too often. Man and a true professional. So thank you very much.
My pleasure, Jen. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, then I will go. Since we had a little hiccup earlier on, we're going to go back to now. I'll reintroduce him, JB Herrera. He's an AI and values-based business expert. JB Herrera is a seasoned entrepreneur, mentor, and keynote speaker with over 30 years of experience in values-based business practices even. Having founded 6 companies, 3 of them highly successful, he is widely recognized for his expertise in AI ethics, leadership, and sustainable growth. As a trusted host at Global Speakers Talk, JB empowers audiences worldwide with insights that blend innovation, integrity, and purpose, inspiring professionals to thrive in today's fast-changing world. Will you please help me welcome JB Herrera?
Well, thank you, Jan. I appreciate it. And I apologize for the earlier technical problems, but here we go. Like, time management and being efficient is really one about adaptability. So thank you, Jan. Thank you, Anshu,
Thank
and the
you.
Global Speakers Talk team for producing such a wonderful event. If there's one thing that I've learned after decades in business and consulting, and even human development, it's this. When it comes to efficiency and time, most people think they have a discipline problem. But really, when you think about it in the moment-to-moment basis, you really have a system problem. And I'll explain what that means. When Dr. Tammy was here, she was talking about the intuitive portions of being aligned and getting understanding that part of who we are. And that's absolutely true. You have to have that connection with who we are. And Chris was talking specifically about some of the things that you needed to do and identifying the important things and getting rid of the other things that are irrelevant to help you accomplish your activities. So what I want to do is drop down a level deeper and say, how do we manage that on a day-to-day basis? Sometimes we tell ourselves, well, I should be focusing better. I should be more disciplined. I should stop getting distracted. But the truth, and I mean this in a liberating sort of way, is that you're trying to do deep work inside an environment that makes deep work statistically improbable. And when a system is designed to fail, no amount of personal willpower can compensate. And that's where engineering meets human psychology and where time mastery begins. I'm going to give you a simple but powerful model that an engineering colleague of mine, Khan Daruk, has put together. So right now, we all stand on the shoulders of previous masters and experts. And so right now, this particular model from Khan Daruk, we're going to stand on top of his shoulders and move forward with that. It explains everything in a reason why we struggle with attention. So your ability to do meaningful, high-value, life-changing work depends on 3 variables. The interruption rate you have, so in other words, how often you get interrupted, whether that's Slack, email, phone, coworkers, or even yourself. The second is recovery time. So how long it takes for you to return to your task after the interruption. And on average, that takes 10 to 16 minutes. And then the third is the block size. So how much uninterrupted time a task requires to make progress. So here's the key insight. And I know this is an engineering thing and it's mathematics and it doesn't necessarily connect with what Tammy was talking about. And sometimes even with what Chris was talking about. But if your interruption rate is really, really high, you get interrupted a lot, and your recovery time is really slow, then the time that you have to block out to get things done becomes mathematically impossible to achieve. So it's not that you're unfocused, it's that the system that you're in makes focus unattainable. So let me peel the onion back and tell you a little bit more about what that means. The average knowledge worker switches tasks every 3 minutes. They're interrupted about 7 to 8 times an hour. And if it takes 10 to 16 minutes to reload that mental context after you've been interrupted, you can start to think about, wow, if I'm trying to do a 60-minute task inside an environment that resets your brain every 3 minutes, there's no philosophy, no mindset, no meditation app that can overcome that. And that's why you feel the way you do. Because guess what? You're not in control at that point. But the good news is that you're not broken. The system is, and systems can be engineered. So let me give you an example of what this really means. So let's say you're a solo entrepreneur, you're working from home. You sit down at 9 a.m. with one clear goal. I'm going to write that sales page. You know it's a 60-minute task. It's going to take deep focus to make it happen. So you open your laptop, you take a breath, you start typing, and ping, at 9:03, a client email hits your inbox. You tell yourself, well, just let me check this really quick. And it takes 2 minutes to read. And in 14 minutes to get your brain back to where you were before you had opened the email. So now it's 9:19 and you refocus and you're back in the sales page and you got one strong paragraph out and bing, 9:22, the phone buzzes. It's a notification. It's from Instagram, let's say. You glance at it for 10 seconds, but again, the real cost is hidden because it takes you now to 10 minutes to get back to your recovery where you were. So now it's 9:35. You try again, you return to your document, but now you're not sure where you left off. You scroll, you reread, you try to pick up the thread, and your mental momentum is gone. And then it's 9:35 and another Slack message comes in. You answer it in 20 seconds, but your brain has to reset again. Can you see the pattern of what's going on? You've been working for an hour, but in a reality, you've only produced 6 to 7 minutes of actual deep work. Your brain had to restart 4 times, and your cognitive load is higher than when you started. And your sales page, the task that determines the revenue, hasn't moved. You don't feel unproductive because you lack focus. You feel unproductive because your system resets your brain every 180 seconds. It scatters your attention, and it prevents you from reaching the depth needed to produce that thing that actually moves your business forward. So here's what I give you some interesting. This is where AI can enter the picture. This is where we shift from self-judgment to structural power. You can use AI not to give you, it's not just to do productivity hacks. It's here to modify the variables of the equation. So let me tell you what that means. AI can reduce your interruptions. It can filter noise. It can triage email. It turns interruptions into structured batches. It can reduce the recovery time. It can capture your context, summarize your notes. It gives you a 1-minute reload packet, if you will, so you can return to a task instantly. And then it reshapes your block time. It decomposes a 90-minute task into a series of 15-minute wins aligned with the actual shape of your day. So you're using technology not to replace your mind. It's protecting your mind. It gives you back the minutes that the world keeps stealing from you. So when the day collapses on you, most people jump to guilt. I was lazy. I got distracted. I didn't try hard enough. Well, let me offer you a different question, a more empowering one. Which variable failed today? Did my interruptions spike? Did I get more interruptions than I had normally? Did my recovery time drag? Did it take longer for me to jump back into my context than it did before? And did the task that I was trying to do, did it require a higher block size in a low time window? You don't fix guilt with motivation, you fix it with the engineering. So let me give you a 5-step, what I call the insight focus system. And we understand that, engineering is behind all of this stuff, and it may not fit for everybody, but that's okay. I call it the five-step insight focus system. It's a diagnostic and structural approach to reclaiming your minutes and protecting your most valuable work. It's not about motivation or willpower. It's really about manufacturing and engineering your day so that you keep your deep work become statistically probable. So here's how it works. Step 1 is to diagnose your system. You get aligned, you do the things that Tammy was talking about. Then you go below that and you take a look at what Chris was talking about earlier, and you identify the things that are important and unimportant. Then what you do is you start counting your interruptions. You start timing your recovery. You start identifying how your core tasks actually take. So then you can perform what I call calendar autopsy. You can ask yourself, how many real blocks did I actually have? This gives you your baseline. So now that you have a baseline of what your day could look like, you start to classify the day. So, before you start work, you ask, what kind of day is today? Is it going to be a high interruption day or open? Which tasks match the day? Which tasks have a high block time that is required or a low block time? What variable needs adjusting? This is actually aligning your actions with the priorities that you've defined before the day and getting connected into the intuition that you have about your life. So that's step 2. Step 3 is reducing those interruptions. Use technologies like email filters. Use technologies that can audit your meetings and protect those blocks. And this is where most people can gain back 3 to 5 hours a week immediately. Step 4 is reducing your recovery time. So you can write a brief context capture at the end of each time block. So let's say you're writing that sales page. What you can do is say, okay, here's where I'm at. And it's kind of a jog of your mind to jump you right back into that same place emotionally and mentally that you were before you were interrupted. You can use AI to build a reload packet. You can turn 15 minutes of recovery into 60 seconds. That saves you almost 14 minutes. And that alone compounds into hundreds of hours per year. That's step 4. Step 5 is reshaping your block time. You can use technology like AI to decompose your goals or calendar. And you can label your tasks by required blocking time. So guard your mornings. Do what you've been told earlier in the presentation today. Do those 10 things before noon, right? Actually, it's before 10 a.m. Because the high block time work moves your life forward. So that's the 5 steps. It's diagnose your system, classify your day, reduce your interruptions, reduce your recovery time, reshape your block time. And when you do that, you're starting to master your life. So let me close with this. Your minutes are the raw material of your destiny. Every breakthrough you've ever had happen in a protected block of time, a moment when interruptions were low, recovery time was short, and block time was long enough for your mind to create something meaningful. Your life is not shaped by years, it's shaped by minutes, by the moments that when you choose focus over fragmentation, by the structure you build around your brilliance. And AI, when aligned with your values, becomes a guardian of those moments. So master your minutes, master your life. Now, if this has resonated with you, I'd love to continue the conference. And there are 3 ways to get engaged. You can see them scrolling across the bottom of the screen. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. I share insights on AI, productivity, and how to build systems that protect your focus. You can read my Substack. I write about the intersection of technology, meaning, and human flourishing. So you can see there, you can reach out to me on Substack. And if you're ready to take action, if you're a solopreneur or leader who knows your system is broken, please feel free, reach out. I am offering a 30-minute free consultation. No commitments on your part, just an opportunity really to get to know you and see how we might be able to help you with some ideas and some technology. One final thing, your minutes matter. And what Yvette was saying earlier is absolutely true. You only have this one moment and it's gone. Take advantage of these tips and tricks that all the speakers are talking about today. Today is the most important day that you have. Yesterday is a memory, tomorrow's a wish. Take the action today. Thanks very much, John.
And thank you, JB. Again, another fistful of nuggets and then some. The fistful was the last 5, and of course, starting with the interruption rate and the recovery time and the block size, something for all of us to think about. You know, I love what you said at the end as well. Your minutes are your raw materials for productivity. Master your minutes, then you master your life. We don't have to look we sometimes make it too grand with the goals and everything, but we should take small steps, and when we do the small steps, the big ones take care of themselves in our management. And the fact that we have a system problem, every engineer will love you for that. You know, I work a lot with engineers as well, but yeah, and I something else that actually really stood out for me, because I had a conversation about it the other day. It says, don't fix your guilt with motivation. It simply doesn't work. So I again, the comments are coming in about the powerful sharing and everything, and so I like it. And you know, you've been a host on a couple of sessions as well. We've got a lot in common about AI and leadership and all that. So I've connected with you, and I love to connect further with you. But thank you very much, JB. And even through the challenges, you were here. It's a live show, but so thank you very much. Much appreciated.
My pleasure, Jan. Thank you.
Okay. Then we will go. You know, if you're getting stuff out of this, let share it in the comments box as well. Let people know what it is for you, because I see comments flying by through Facebook and YouTube and the different channels. But the speakers will also appreciate it, because then they know that you are taking notes as well, which also is very satisfying for any speaker. So from there, we go to the next speaker, number 6 out of 8, and that is Coyle Harrison. Coyle, CJ. makers and leaders, creating one of the most trusted resources for discovering hidden gems and real stories behind the businesses that shape Las Vegas. Recognized as a cultural ambassador for the city he loves, CJ continues to inspire audiences with authentic conversations, practical insights, and his mission to uplift entrepreneurs worldwide. Please help me welcome Coyle Harrison.
Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully you guys can hear me. You can hear me, Jan?
Yes, we can, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I appreciate that. I definitely want to first give thanks to Anshu Tyree. She's done an amazing job of getting all these leaders together and be able to bring them all in one platform to share some of these nuggets, wisdom that you usually have to pay somewhere else. So thank you, Anshu, for that. Thank you. And Jan, I appreciate you also, sir. All right. So time management and productivity. You're great. You guys been hearing a lot of great leaders today. We've heard Tammy. I love that 10 things before 10 a.m., which is very important. It is key. Vet had a great, beautiful story also. And Chris, proactive, not reactive, very important with time management. And my favorite, JB, that was perfect. AI is here to protect our peace, our mind, our time, not here to replace us. Good stuff. Now, with my section today, I'll be sharing 3 key takeaways. First, you'll discover why how you manage your time in your personal life is a direct mirror of your success and effectiveness in business. Second, I'm going to share a powerful insight to help you stop being just busy and start being truly productive. You probably heard that a lot. Being busy and being productive are totally 2 different things. And third, what I call is the ACT. So this will be the ACT framework. And you'll walk away with a simple 3-step strategy that you can immediately use to take back control of your day. All right. So join me and other global leaders. I want to thank you as we inspire and empower change across the world. So if I offered everyone in this live right now that is listening, if I offered you $86,400 every single morning with one condition, you have to spend all of it by midnight or it's gone forever, would you let a single dollar go to waste? No, of course not. You probably plan every cent, you invest it, you would spend it, you would definitely not waste it. So let me ask you this. Every day you are given 86,400 seconds. Why are we so willing to waste that? Why? Now, we are obsessed with our financial assets. We track them, we manage them, we grow them, but we are surprisingly careless with our greatest, most valuable, and absolutely non-renewable asset. It isn't our money, our status, our connections. It's our time, and we waste it. Time is the one resource we all have in equal measure. There's no one who has more time than anyone else. We all have an equal measure of time. And is the one thing we can never, ever get back. It goes. Once it's gone, it is gone. I'm here today to show you that how you manage time in your personal life is a direct mirror of how you manage in your business. It's not separate. There are one and not the same. They are the same. So in the next 13 minutes, we're going to explore this mirror principle, I call it. So it's a mirror. And I'll leave you with a simple, powerful strategy to take back control of your life. So imagine if we had a mirror everywhere we went. I know a lot of companies, in call centers back in my corporate days, call centers where you call in for customer service, their agents will use mirrors so they can see the smile and make sure that their reality is a reflection of what they see in a mirror. So imagine if we had a mirror everywhere before meetings, during meetings, conversations. It will be a different world. It would. So this aspect is more geared for you to be that person in the mirror that you are in real life and have it mirror the same thing. So we do tend to believe in a myth. And that myth is that we can be one person at home and a completely different person at work. That we can be disorganized and reactive in our personal lives, but then walk into the office and magically become a focused, disciplined, strategic leader. And we all know that that's not true. So this is definitely fantasy. So time management isn't a switch you flip on, and clock in, you guys. It's a system of habits. It is. It's a muscle, and you use that same muscle in every area of your life. So the lack of discipline that lets you hit that snooze button 5 times every morning, be honest, who does that? That is that exact same lack of discipline that lets you procrastinate on a difficult client call you know you need to take. The disorganization also in your kitchen, well, you can never find what you need. That is the same exact disorganization that clutters your project workflow and make your team inefficient. So let's really look at the mirror. I have a coworker. He's very smart, knows his business, but he's always late, always disorganized, always misplacing things. When we have reports that are due, he's either missing a slide or he's missing deadlines. And one day I went out to lunch with him and I got in his car. He's like, I'll drive. His car had bottles, papers, old report from the job in the car everywhere. And I was like, how can you focus like this? Later, as we get to know each other, I had a time to visit his house. Same thing with his room, cluttered, old magazines, that can probably be thrown away. That can clutter your mind state. It could clutter your habits. The cleaner and tidier you are in your workspace, in your area, that is the first start. It is. No matter how much you manage your time and you get it down to a T, if you're not in a clean work area, your mind isn't clean. So the same thing like with your finances also. So if you have a cluttered, area, your finances are most likely to be cluttered also. So when you really think about that, start cleaning that area, the area where you meditate, the area where you do most of your business. Even if you don't have an area at home, I can be speaking on the workplace. Wherever you work, whether if that's in a cubicle or office, make sure that area is tidied up before you can even start manage time effectively. You want to make sure you have a clear head, clear surroundings, and it'll make that path easier. It would. Now, on a personal level, what about mindless scrolling? So we do that also. You tell yourself you'll just check social media for 5 minutes, before bed, and 45 minutes later, you're still up. You're deep in the rabbit hole of videos you won't remember tomorrow. I kid you not. Now, what's the professional mirror of that? Mindless checking. The compulsive need to check your emails. I've done that before. Every notification, every 10 minutes. I've done that before. Both of these behaviors are reactive. Remember, they were speaking of being proactive and reactive. They are dopamine driven also. So these are absolutely, they will absolutely destroy your ability to have a deep focus, meaningful work. Even with me doing podcasts, I create content also. Some of the content I do create are for affiliate programs, which have a deadline. So I really have to set myself timelines on when should I scroll or when should I work. And it made it easier for me. At first, I was unruly with it. But when you set out a schedule specifically for you to engage and scroll, it makes you look at social media a bit different. So instead of just picking up the phone, answering a notification, set a time for that, from 12 to 1 or 12 to 2. I'm going to spend this time and dedicate it to just scrolling on social media, engaging, commenting on friends' posts, networking with other businesses. And so you'll keep it disciplined to that, and you won't venture off what the true meaning of you being on social media is for. Now, here's another one also we don't think of. I heard a speaker speak on this. In your personal life, no plans for your meals. That can be a lot, too, for time management. You get to 6 p.m., you're starving. You have no idea what to eat. So you stress out and order expensive, unhealthy takeout. The professional mirror to that is no plan for your workday. You have to sit down at your desk, open your inbox, immediately jump into the loudest task, the newest email, the latest notification, instead of the most important one. The mirror is real, I tell you, and I learned it the hard way. I really did. I had to learn that the hard way, that managing your time is protecting your future. And with me, I had a good run as far as affiliate programs to where I had to decide, hey, should I start this business and leave my job? Or should I try to juggle both? But what I didn't know, the most important part, it doesn't take money for you to step on that. It takes the mind state, the time management of it. Because you can make more money at creating content. You think like, you know what? I'm going to just do this. Let me leave my job. But if you don't have no discipline, no structure, you're used to just clocking in, doing what your job says to do, it's going to be a while before you can really get right to see some ROI, to step in the shoes of what it takes to run a business effectively every day. You have to literally have the same mind state you had working for a corporation or another company. You have to have that same mindset with your own business. And it doesn't just grow overnight. That takes discipline, it takes practice, and it takes change of behavior. And you literally have to do that every day. That's one of the mistakes that I made, creating content, leaving a job, and then going thinking like, you know what, I want to be a full-time creator, and I don't have my time managed correctly. That leads to the ACT framework, which I have, and I follow this. So ACT framework, you can't manage time. Okay, let's tell the truth. It's going to pass no matter what you do. You can only manage yourself. The good news is that it's not a personality trait you're born with. It is a skill, and like any skill, it can be learned. So I use simple 3-step strategy. It's easy to remember, and it's powerful. It's the ACT framework. So A out of ACT is going to be audit. It's a leak if you don't know where it is. Okay, most of us have no idea where our time is actually going. We think we know, but we're wrong. We lie to ourselves. We say, I only spent a few minutes on emails when it was really an hour. We know that. Or I only spent a couple of minutes doing this, but it was longer. So just for 3 days, I want you to become a time detective. Get a small notebook. I use a journal book. This is what I use. Any kind of book. You can go to Dollar Store and get one for $1. Start anywhere. Use your phone. Use the spreadsheet and use an app. If you have one, I don't care what tool you use. Every 60 to 90 minutes, stop and write down exactly what you did. Everything in each time slot, I write down what I did, how long it took. Be honest with yourself. If you scrolled Instagram 20 minutes, write that down. If you talk to someone on the phone, write that down so you can manage your time. It's not for judgment. It is strictly for data. You cannot build a strategy on a guess. You must show the truth. That's step 1, audit. C, clarify. Okay, once you have your data, you probably be a little shocked. Now you must define what actually matters. You have to differentiate between being busy and being productive. They are not the same. I want you to use the 2-list system. Every evening or first thing in the morning, you make 2 lists, which is an action plan. List 1 is your impact list. These are the 1 to 3 things that if I get them done, will make a day a true success. So these are the big items. Finish those project proposals, call 3 potential clients, whatever it is, you have to write that down. But in order, the audit part, when you get that time down in the business of what I am, as far as creating content, I have to know how long it takes me to go shoot this video. After that, I have to know how long it takes me to edit this video to actually be ready to publish on social media. Therefore, if you don't know how long things take, there's no way you can put a price on your services when you're in business. And the only way you can find out how long it takes is through this ACT framework. So then you have your admin list. That's answering emails, pay the phone bills, schedule dentist appointments, get all that entirely down. And then next is the last one will be our triage and time block. You have your data from the audit now. You have your priorities from clarify. Now you execute. You become the bouncer of your own time. You decide what gets in. Triage. You look at the admin list too. Your triage is using the 2-minute rule. The rule is simple. If a task on the list takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Plain and simple. Just do it. Don't write it down. Don't file it. Don't come back to it. Just do it. Respond to that quick email. Confirm the appointment. Do not sit and procrastinate on things. Get these small, annoying tasks out of your head so they don't clutter your mind. And then second is the time block. For your impact list 1, you live by your calendar. I live by my calendar. I don't care if it's even me time is scheduled in my calendar. Use your devices, you guys. All these smartphones have all kind of devices that will help you manage time, set schedule, also ring an alarm to make sure you're staying disciplined to your time slots. Now, you schedule these tasks as if they were unbreakable appointments. You have to, with the most important person in the world, okay? So you 9 to 10:30, work on this project. This and this, work on this. You got to protect your time, turn off your notifications, close your email tabs, put your phone on silent. You have to really work these out, and you give your most important task your best, most valuable, undivided energy. Audit your time, clarify your priorities, triage and time block your day. ACT framework, the ACT framework, okay? So you guys, what you learned, we've seen that our time is our one true non-renewable asset. It really is. We've seen that our personal behavior habits are a mirror reflecting directly onto our personal lives. You cannot be a master of one and a mess in another. You cannot, you guys. And you can do this. It just takes discipline and everyday for you to build that structured discipline of like, okay, I need to write this down. I need to write this down. And you can start to see your track record. It says time management affects not only you, but everyone around you, working with and under you. Okay. So we have a simple, practical strategy, ACT framework, audit, clarify, time block. To audit where your time goes, clarify what truly matters, and triage and time block your day to make it happen, you guys. The $86,400 I mentioned at the beginning, your daily 86,400 seconds, they all just reset. Your next deposit starts right now. You make time. You must value your time, because when you truly fundamentally value your time, others will have no choice but to value it too. Thank you, guys. Go and invest your next 86,400 minutes. You guys also, you can reach me at visit vegasplaces.com. That is the podcast. We're on every podcast platform. We also do Google Maps we create for Google, so you can look us up. If you're stopping by Vegas or local in Vegas, check out the podcast, learn more about our small business here in Las Vegas, or just check out one of the episodes. And that's on Spotify, Apple, Buzzsprout, Good Pods, wherever you listen to your podcast, we're there. And that's Visit Vegas Places with Coyle. Thank you, guys.
Yes, and thank you very much, Coyle, for again the nuggets. I mean, we've got a gold mountain here now. We need to go into the vault to secure them all. There is that many. So I love, as somebody said just now, Yvette Leow says, love the ACT framework. I mean, even the discipline, the snooze button, that to me must be the biggest torture chamber in the house. To do that, I can't understand that. But even when you talked about the fact that leaving your job, and I can personally attest to that. You know, I never realized it was as simple as the time management of the job, because you're so into a routine. And becoming an entrepreneur, all of a sudden you look in the mirror and you're everything to everybody, including yourself, and it is very difficult and very challenging. The habits and the behaviors that we've had over years, and all of a sudden we need to change that overnight, which of course is not going to happen. So I love everything you said, and the fact that the mirror is real. It's sometimes an ouch moment for I'm sure for each and every one of them, for one of us. And yeah, the other thing is very true, is of course the clutter around you causes the clutter within you. You know, and I love all of those kind of things, and I hope that people get the nuggets from everything that you've put together as well. And I really appreciate you. So thank you very much. And you know where to reach Coyle. You know, connect with him and listen to his podcast. But thank you very much, and hopefully we see you towards the end of the session.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Then we will move on to our second last speaker for the session. And as I said, at the end, we'll have a short round table as well. But our next speaker is Balasundari Parameswaran, also known as Sunitha Silva. And she was born in a middle-class family from India, but was more passionate in pursuing higher education in the USA. She is in India's who's who, all India rank holder, ranked top 50, and graduated with a master's in pharmacy from a prestigious university in India. She had her purpose unlocked and graduated with her second master's in clinical and mental health counseling from the Chicago School of Psychology. The passion to purpose, a journey of transformation, she pursued her dream to make a difference in others' lives. She is also a certified NLP and Reiki healer. Today, she is helping pharmacy graduates by coaching, mentoring them to get their pharmacist license in the USA. She also works on her license to be a mental health therapist to bring difference in others' lives, and already has more than 10 years of volunteering experience as a leader in a non-profit organization. Sunitha has a plan to help in crisis intervention in the community, and has been recognized in the community as an easily approachable person to help in need. Now she's proud to be transformed from being a stay-at-home Indian mom to be a coach and a speaker on podcasts and in conferences. Balasundari Parameswaran, known as Sunitha Silva, please welcome and thank you for providing us with, no doubt, amazing insights that are coming from you. Thank you. You are still muted.
Okay, sorry. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Balasundari Parameshwaran. My nickname is Sunitha Siva. I'm here to talk about time management and productivity. First of all, thanks to Ms. Anshu for giving me this opportunity. And thanks to Mr. James for helping me drafting this speech. And thanks to Ian Roberts for introducing me here in this conference. Let me ask one question. So how many of you think like you have some task to finish, you plan in the morning or the day before, and still you could not complete not even a single task? Or you plan for 5 to 7 goals in a week and you are not able to finish it. So it happened to me all the time. So why it happens? If this sounds familiar, please put a yes in the chat. Hopefully I can see more yes in the chat. Because honestly, I am with you. Today, I want to talk about the strategies I use to overcome these challenges and that help me to feeling rise above from feeling overwhelmed and talk about here with clarity and confidence. Take whatever works for you. The first strategy is the 2-minute rule. Let us do whatever we can do in 2 minutes, just do it. Like replying for an email, composing an email, signing, or scheduling a call, or forwarding an email, just do it. Because small tasks don't stay small. They create mental clusters and drain your energy. So when I started applying this 2-minute rule, I felt lighter, my mind became clearer, and I stopped taking my unfinished task to the next day. But for focusing more on this conference speech, I need more strategies to follow. So my second strategy is Pomodoro technique. I hope so many of you have heard about it, but if not, that is okay. Here is how it works. Choose a task, set a timer for 25 minutes, work with 0 distractions, and take a break for 5 minutes. After 3 to 4 Pomodoros, take 15 to 20 minutes break. This Pomodoro technique helped me to break my work into manageable chunks, reduce my fatigue, and work with 0 distractions, and then keeps me fresh and active. Rhythm, focus, rest, and repeat. If 25 minutes to take is too long for you, take 15 minutes of work and 3 minutes of break. And do 20 minutes of work and 5 minutes of break. So remember, the goal is consistency and not perfection. Using this Pomodoro technique, I was able to at least started making progress in this conference speech. My third technique is managing my day. Let me ask another question. How many of you snooze your alarm and not able to, not want to get up from the bed, still wanted to sleep? It happened to me so many times. I don't want to get up and start my regular routine. I overcome this one by 2 simple practices. One is my morning affirmation meditation, and then hot tea infused with ginger and cinnamon. So these give me more clarity, calmness, and gentle push to work towards my goal. My fourth technique is reducing distractions. To stay focused, I turned off notifications every day for 1 to 2 hours each day. And I keep my focus on while cooking, driving, and meditating. This made a huge difference. I was able to complete my daily chores, coaching pharmacy graduates, and stay active in my volunteer work without being rushed or scattered. When you protect your attention, you protect your energy. My fifth strategy is reverse plan your day. Earlier, my mindset was, what do I want to do today? But even with this list, I couldn't write even a single paragraph for this conference speech. So that's why I changed my mindset. What is the result I want by the end of this day today? So this shift changed everything. I wrote 2 paragraphs and practiced once, all with a clear and measurable goal. When you plan the things with results and not activities, the progress becomes natural. My 6th strategy is building systems and not stress. To avoid randomness, I create a daily routine. My morning routine, 18 minutes of affirmation meditation, reviewing the task, tea infused with ginger and cinnamon, and then deep work. My evening routine is gratitude and forgiveness meditation, breath work, and prepare for the next day. I also celebrate 3 daily wins: my physical win, mental win, and spiritual win. My physical win is walking and breathing. My mental win is positivity and presence. My spiritual win is gratitude and meditation. So I set phone free time blocks every day for during walking and meditation. These protected hours help me to think clearly, recharge myself, and stay grounded. I also check my emails and WhatsApp 2 to 3 times a day. And Sundays are for my self care and prepare for the rest of the week. These routines reduce my decision fatigue and made me to increase my productivity automatically. Seventh strategy is start before you are ready. I spent so much time comparing myself, overthinking about this conference speech. I saw the posts and comments and I thought like I'm not prepared. I felt like quitting. Then one morning after meditation, I decided, let me just start. And that one decision brought me here today. So remember, start messy, finish strong. Your job is to begin and the improvement will follow. My 8th strategy is weekly reviews. Another powerful habit I followed is weekly review. At the end of every week, I reflect on what I accomplished, identify the unfinished task, capture new ideas, and then set priorities for the next week. This has helped me to reduce the stress, feel more creative, and stay consistent and reliable. Consistency, calmness, discipline, self discipline, and planning have helped me to rise above challenges and show up here with clarity and purpose. Growth begins the moment we choose not to give up on ourselves. The last one is the Eisenhower Matrix. One of the most powerful tools for time management is Eisenhower Power Matrix, also called the Urgent Important Matrix. It helps me quickly deserves my attention, what to do, what to delegate, and has to be eliminated. The matrix has 4 quadrants. The first one is urgent and important, that is, do first. These tasks need your immediate attention because it gives you significant consequences, like emergencies, critical work issues, or deadlines. Handle this task as your first priority. The second one is not urgent but important, schedule. These tasks help you grow, improve, and achieve your long term goals. Planning, learning, exercising, team building, and building relationship. Block the specific time on your calendar for them. The third one is urgent but not important. Delegate. These tasks feel urgent but don't actually need you. Examples: routine tasks, administrative work, and certain messages. Delegate, automate, or streamline them. Not urgent, not important. That is, eliminate. These tasks waste time and gives low or no value. Example: excessive scrolling, unnecessary meetings, and distractions. Minimize or remove them from your schedule. Why the Eisenhower matrix works? It stops me from reacting to everything. It helps me to think strategically. It helps me to focus on what truly matters. It reduces my stress and decision fatigue. It aligns my daily action with long term goals. How to use it daily? List all your tasks, place each task into each quadrant, do, schedule, delegate, or delete accordingly. Review at the beginning or end of each day. So before I close, here are your key takeaways. The first one is control. Start with your top daily 3 and weekly priorities. Second, small systems beat big motivation. Routines produce results. Third, time blocking protects your attention. Fourth, Pomodoro boosts focus and energy. Fifth, reduce distractions. Every interruption costs minutes, not seconds. Sixth, progress is better than perfection. Just start. 7, review weekly to improve. 8, prioritize your energy, not just your time. 9, purpose fuels discipline. 10, be intentional or your schedule will control you. Through these practices, I have learned that time management is not about doing more, it is about doing what matters with clarity, purpose, and presence. Thank you for listening, and I hope these strategies support you on your own journey toward a more productive. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Balasundari, for again another 2 fistful of nuggets, 10 steps at the end as well. And I think the public can see, that there's a sort of theme, of course, time management and productivity. But every speaker has a different aspect, but a lot of it comes down to the same kind of things that we cannot manage time, but we need to manage ourselves. And we're talking about breaking things down into manageable tasks without distractions. And the goal is consistency, not perfection. I like that as well, because there is certain personalities, behavior analysis consultant as well, that people wait to have everything perfect before they start. And of course, you mentioned the snooze button again. That should be eliminated from any daily routine immediately, because we mentioned it already, and it has been mentioned. But also turn off distractions. And it's so easy because you mentioned that you check your emails and WhatsApp 2 or 3 times a day only. And I think that is something that we can learn a lot from, because we think we have this feeling that we things are so important that we are afraid to miss something. So we actually keep checking, and then when we check, we do something else, and of course we get distracted again. But I love those kind of things. And start messy, finish strong. But the message there is, but start. Done is better than perfect. That's a quote that is also in my head. And then of course you also went through the Johari window, which I love. And we should never be at a point that we only work on things that are important and urgent, but also not on the sit in the corner where nothing's important and nothing is urgent, because then there is something far wrong with our life, I suppose. But no, I really loved everything you shared with us. And as the last speaker, unfortunately, and from South Africa, unfortunately, is down with the flu, we are bringing all the speakers back up, and then we are going to have maybe a discussion. I've got a few questions that I threw out there, and then we can still go. We have a few of us here anyway. So I mean, I know JB's here, Christopher. I see. Well, of course, you're here as well. So I mean, I always say, as long as there's more than one person, we've got a party. Yeah, but there is at least 4 of us here, and I it's interesting. There is so much wisdom, and I mean, I've got, I don't know how many pages. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6.5 pages of notes. And I need to sit down and actually task myself with it. It's important to actually put that all in some kind of order that is workable for me, because I think it's also, we all have different ideas. We all have different things that are important to us for our own time management and for our own productivity. And there's one thing that, and I sometimes look back and I want to ask each one of you this question first. What is one thing something that you wish you would have known earlier that now makes a big difference in time management and your productivity? So, JB, please.
Well, it's interesting. I think one of the things that was really impactful for me was combining the information that I gleaned from Tammy and the information from Chris at the same time. Because when you combine those two things together, it's a powerful way of approaching time, productivity, and efficiency. And when you're approaching it from that perspective, connecting the intuitive portions of who you are with the practical activities that Christopher was talking about, now you can actually start to accomplish the things that you were born to do in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're here to do. Not to sit around with, putting our thumb in our ear and trying to wait for something to happen. It's really for us we have something to contribute. And it's, almost a crime or a sin for us to not take advantage of the tips, techniques, I won't say tricks, but the techniques that have been identified by Christopher and by Sunitha, and certainly combining it with that emotional and spiritual component that it ends up being from what Dr. Tammy was talking about. I mean, that's where I would go.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, as you said, there is so much of it here, and that to take everything out of it. And I think that's, you also said, and I've heard this as well. I mean, not everything that's been mentioned by every speaker will suit everybody. But that's why we've had similar things from different angles. Even the same thing by a different speaker might make sense. And we all know that we're all speakers, and we know that, I always say that if you want to make everybody happy, go and sell ice cream. And even then you've got troubles, So, but I mean, I hope for all our listeners that they get this, that, take from it what will help you, but do something with the information you've had here. So the same question for you, Christopher.
Yeah, I would say if I could go back in time and really, for the first 31 years, I was reactive, right? I didn't understand my emotions. We are all emotional creatures. And the foundation of emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize what we can control, what we cannot control. And I didn't realize at the time I would always be getting caught up in other people either falling short of their expectations to me, or I was falling short of my expectations to them, caught up in situations beyond my control. And it was a time suck because I was I was putting all this energy into something I couldn't control. And when you do that, you become emotionally, mentally, and physically exhausted. So you're not leaving much energy, or you're not vibrationally, or you're not vibrating at a higher level to the things that are within your control. And when I was able to go within and say, the only person I can control, or anything I control, is me. And I got to be conscious of my communication to myself, other people, and making sure that I'm specific, clear, concise, leaving no room for assumptions and speculation, my behavior, my attitude, my emotions, and responding versus reacting, and then my level of action. And when I was able to do that, I became more intentional. And because of the intentional, I began to now recognize what was important, what was not. What could I actually do today versus what I couldn't do today? So that allowed me to laser focus and value each of those by prioritizing them in order of what I could accomplish today, and then accomplish whatever I could up to that point and park it until I had all the puzzle pieces in place to complete it. So for me, it was, now understanding what I can control versus what I can't, to be more in control of what I do with that time, to be more efficient and productive.
Oh, I love that too. And I mean, in martial arts as well, we talk about responding and reacting. And that really talks into all of that, because we are so reactive, especially when we don't understand, as you said, the first 31 years, when we don't understand those kind of things, that we tend to keep reacting, because as little kids, we do that. Somebody calls, and the list goes on and on and on, until we realize that, as everybody said here in different ways, that we only have control about us. And that's how we can respond. The response, the difference between reacting and responding is very simple. Reacting is that we do things based on what happens outside of the circumstances, what other people say, and all those kind of things. As everybody said, what we cannot control. But with responding, we take in what we need to take in, and we give it a thought before we open our mouth, and before, and if that thought doesn't work for us, let it go. So I love that as well. And Dr. Balasundari, what is your thoughts on? I wish you would have known earlier that now makes a big difference in your life and time management and productivity.
Yeah, I don't know about the Eisenhower Matrix, but when I was preparing for this speech, I came to know about it. So I want to apply that in my life for a better productivity. I'm doing, but I'm not doing 100%. To do, or I want to plan things. I want to delegate. I want to eliminate. So I'm thinking of applying that in my life for more productivity.
Thank you very much. And yes, again, I mean, when we look at our own lives, there is always, they say the biggest room is the room for improvement. And I think that really talks into that. Also, for people who are watching or listening, that, what can you improve on? And that's actually the next question, because we're also, I mean, I always amuse myself at New Year's resolutions. I think that for me, it's the most crazy thing. And well, not this year, but last year, when I found out the statistics about New Year's resolution, they've got a fall-off day where things start dropping. When you're in the gym, you see people leaving again, and at first you can't get the same bike or the same seat. And last year, that in 2024, the drop-off day was the 17th of January, not even 3 weeks in. And then, but next year, and towards the end of the year, they get psyched up again because they hear people talking about it. Next year, I'm going to... And I thought, why don't you, instead of Happy New Day, Happy New Year, why don't you say Happy New Day? So that if you fail by something today, you can do it again tomorrow, So I before we go to the next question, because I see Dr. Tammy has luckily managed to join us again as well. Thank you. So I just asked the question of everybody here. What is something that you wish you would have known earlier in your life that now makes a big difference to you?
That I was so much more than I ever thought I was.
Ooh.
And that you can do anything you put your mind to. If you decide you're going to do it, you can do it. And I know this now. I would have not played small as much as I did if I would have recognized that in myself.
Ouch. Yeah. I mean, I say ouch because I think that I walked that journey as well, and I think every day we find out more things about ourselves as we're in this growth cycle, because there's always more and there's better and there's a higher hill to climb. So yeah, I really love that too. Then I mean, I might as well begin with you as well for the next question, as we're talking about New Year's resolutions and putting them all aside because they simply don't work. And that is a wish most people have, and when it hurts enough, they stop very quickly, convincing themselves that next year's the year. 10 years later, they say next year's the year. But what is something you will implement in 2026 that will allow you to become even more productive?
I really believe in hiring the right coaches and mentors. And one of the ones that I just met with last week in Denver, we spent a VIP day. And she said, you have to give me your word for next year. And I'm like, well, I know what my word for this year would be: shedding, clearing out, really cleaning out things that don't belong. Next year, my word, and I think this is very important for people, if you can come up with your word that equals or coordinates with your values. She made me come up with my top 3 values and my word. Everything will be filtered through my word, opulence. If it's not opulent, I'm not doing it. I'm saying no. So, and that goes with growth and sovereignty and my career. So everything is going to be filtered. And I think if instead of doing New Year's resolutions, if we just came up with a theme word like that coincides with our values, I have something to use all year, because I don't think those things work. New Year's resolutions. I think they're made to be broken.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. Yes, I love that, values and the word. We've done this before. We've been in circles where people ask you, at the beginning of the year or the end, what is going to be your word for next year? And that takes a bit of thinking. You cannot just throw a word out there, and sometimes it comes to you anyway, you know. But you need to be open to it, I think, and that word will come. And as you know, JB as well, but being involved in values-based leadership, and so are we. We talk about this a lot. Values are important to everybody, and if you don't stand for anything, you fall for everything. So I think that the combination of those, I think, is most powerful. So thank you. Balasundari, will you please share what you will something you will implement next year that will really make a big difference?
So I want to do so many things. Like I want to do public speaking. I want to do TEDx talk, and I'm working on my therapist license. So once I get the license, I can start working as a therapist or counselor. I'm also working on bringing my pharmacy classes as a recorded program. So there are so many things going on to bring it in 2026. I don't know how much I'm going to do, but so for increasing productivity, I always feel like sitting in silence or meditation makes me to focus on the things and achieve my goals. So I am going to increase my meditation time and doing in mindfulness to see what I can achieve next year.
I love that. So the upping your productivity is not necessarily that we need to work harder, but we also need to take some real time for ourselves to kind of make sure that we have our energy to do what we want to do. So I love that as well, Ash. Thank you. Christopher, what's your thoughts?
I would, all great responses. And I think for me in 2026, it's going to be continuing to look for, ways to delegate even further so I can, gain back more of that valuable time to elevate what I'm really good at, delegate what I'm not good at so I can be now more valuable to the people I'm serving. But if I don't fill my cup and utilize that time to do that, then I can't be valuable. So with this case, I'm, delegating is going to continue to, utilize AI. You don't depend upon them. You see it as a tool to complement what you're doing. And for me, it's just going to be looking for other resources, not to push the responsibility onto the resource itself, but allow the resource to do the things that I could do, but but in this case, free me up so that I can now get involved in more complex type tasks that will require that one-on-one. And I'm doing a talk. I'm a keynote speaker as well, and I'm doing an opening keynote for the Association of Medical Imaging Leaders. It's for radiologists in March. And I'm going to be talking about this because a lot of radiologists get burned out, especially leaders, because they have a hard time delegating. It's kind of hardwired into their personality. There's a kind of a common personality trait, I guess, with radiologists. So we're going to be talking about that. But I also have to remind myself of that every day. So that is what is going to be on my plate for 2026, is making sure where I can be more effective, I'm working on my business, not in it, so I can be more valuable when I show up for the people I'm serving.
Oh yeah, again, another powerful, the nuggets keep on coming. Even just that last part to work on your business rather than in your business, because then you go from an employee to a business owner, really, because so many of us, we have such a hard time letting go, and what do you delegate, and but this needs to be done, and so it's all the challenges keep coming, but so do the opportunities, of course. The opportunity for us to improve ourselves. So I love all that as well. So JB, what's your thoughts?
Well, 2026 is going to be a fun year. I will say that I have been massively impacted by the speakers today. So Dr. Tammy, and what you've spoken about today, and by the way, I downloaded everything that was like a free site.
Thank you.
When you think about the connections that we have intuitively to life in general, right? And being able to connect that with your core values. Now you're speaking my language. And so everything that I do from an AI perspective is built around core values. So every agent, every system, every workflow, everything that I do, it really focuses specifically. I have a long process that I work with people on. Let's define what your core values are. Let's prioritize those core values, because guess what? We're going to build those into rules that your AI is going to be using to make decisions and make recommendations for you. When you do it that way, all of a sudden, guess what? You can become more productive because you have an assistant, right? We talk about AI as human brilliance that's augmented with, artificial intelligence. And really, that's where we're the core of everything. And so my mission, I'm passionate about this, is getting people to understand their core values, and then understanding that there are certain things that you can do on a daily basis that enable you to become the person that you were meant to be. And for the speakers who are here and the ones who aren't, I just want to say that I was inspired to implement the concepts and the techniques that have been identified today.
Yeah, again, I love that too, and being also very much values based. It said just now, and AI as well. I mean, I was learning AI again this morning on the talk that you introduced the day. I built my own clone, and there's always, there's a room for improvement as well. But I think he's getting better than me, so I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. But it is mind blowing, that so many people use it as Google Plus and nothing else. Yet there is so much more. And then people say, "Oh, but it will steal our jobs," and it does. No, it will not. But as you said, it accentuates, augments who you are, and that we don't have to do the mundane things. And people talk here as well. All the things we can do to make sure that we get time back. Not there, but in the future, that we can have time for what matters most to us. Whether it is to take time out to do meditation, or to do something for our own health, or for our hobbies, and to spend time with the people we love, and meet the friends that we always have on our list, or we need to meet again, and a year later we still haven't met them because. And there's always reasons, of course. So, I love all of this. And because we have a little bit of time left, I would want to ask each one of you, what is the one thing you want to leave the listeners with today? After all the nuggets that have been pouring into them, what is the one thing that you would like to leave with the listeners at the end of all of this? And I know there's going to be more sessions, but for this session, the time management and productivity, the one thing, and I'm going to start with the two ladies. Balasundari, will you share first with us, please?
Yeah, please prioritize your energy, not your time. So the progress, usually always people say progress, like practice leads to perfection, but I believe practice leads to progress. So just practice, and then you can lead to progress.
I love it. Thank you. Dr. Tammy?
First of all, I want to go back and visit what JB was just saying. If nobody is really paying attention to AI, you're going to be left out. So JB, I really appreciate you, and we need to talk, because I have taught chat to intuitively read. I'm an expert intuitive, and I read people for a living. And this is going to be an agency. I'm getting an AI certification, so I'm kind of with you. So you were always fascinating to me in this regard. I loved everybody's talk. I was sitting in the background going, wow, yes, I want to meet all of you. Probably I do. But especially what AI, we've got to step up into that. And so the things that it can do that will support us, not take over, but support, is far reaching, more than you can believe. Even getting spontaneous messages after source tells me the message, AI tells me on my phone, and the exact same message, guys. I'm telling you, it's freaky good. All right. The thing that I would leave with you is, unless you really know who you are, how you function, and you stand in the sovereignty of that, you're probably going to struggle more than you need to. So I would say step back just a little and figure out what drives you, what moves you, what inspires you, how do you receive information? Is it through sight? Is it through hearing? And then once you know this about yourself, you are not only going to set yourself apart in every single area of anything that you do, professional life, but you're not going to be replaced by your clients and the people that you serve. Because I'm just going to tell you this, I was homeless and I had to manifest money, and my home I manifested. And what I learned from that was detailed recipes on how to practice conscious alchemy. And it's pretty wild. It's great. But one of the things that I learned was that I had disowned everything I knew, and then I had to step back into it. That's your biggest tool. That's your biggest power. That's your sovereignty. Am I? And then when you do that, you can see people and they can see you. And now all I hire, instead of coaches that are charlatans or just want to take your money and take advantage, all I hire is people who can see me, because they can't hold space for me until they see me. So I encourage all of you, because we're here talking about time management, that you get into what you know. That is claircognizance. Get into what you know. That is your value for your businesses.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Again, I mean, and I love this. And you know, when you said that as well about the getting the right people to come into your life rather than those, and we need to be open to that, and we need to send those messages out there. The vibration needs to be out there for that to happen. And again, Les Brown always says OQP, only quality people. You know, it's amazing. So yes, thank you for that as well. And again, I hope the people get all of this. I mean, this is additional wisdom and additional nuggets that they're getting. JB, please share with us.
So I believe that we all have the capabilities of being masters of art, of humanity, of technology, if we give ourselves the opportunity to do that. And so what I would leave everybody with is this one thought. Every day, make today your masterpiece.
Coach Wooden. Yeah, I love that. Make every day your masterpiece. Yeah, of course. You know, I actually wrote that down earlier on, believe it or not. But it was you or somebody else said that, you know, that we sometimes we live as if we're going to live forever. And then all of a sudden we find out, I think you should live every day as if it's your last, because one day that's going to be the truth. And beside that, I wrote, because these thoughts came into my head, and beside that I wrote, make every day your masterpiece, and make every day count. Yep. John Maxwell talks a lot about that as well. So thank you for another reminder of that. And I hope people get that. Make every day your masterpiece. Christopher, last but certainly not least.
Yeah, I would say, you know, just to reiterate again, if you're going to value your time, you have to value yourself. And it's got to start with you. And, you know, it's great to learn from mentors and coaches and resources, but in the end, it's what you now take from it and now what you do with it. You don't have to do everything overnight. You don't have to be perfect. Trust the process. Give yourself that, like I said, it's one day at a time, but doing something that's going to improve you valuing your time, focusing on the priorities that truly matter versus the things that don't. And as you get better each and every day, you're going to be a better example and a better resource for others that observe you, whether if they know it consciously or not. You're giving them a gift. I always say, you know, I always like to leave these types of summits with a saying called give without expectation, receive without resistance. And that's what everybody did here today. They gave without expectation, but you had to give to yourself first. It's like the oxygen mask when it comes down on a plane, when the flight attendant says, put the mask on yourself before you put it on the child. Because most people, especially moms, would put it on the child before themselves. You have to fill your cup in order to spill onto others in a positive way. And it was demonstrated here today that everybody gave without expectation. and it's going to come back somewhere where you receive, where it serves you, fills your cup, and you repeat the cycle all over again.
Wow, what a way to finish this. And I don't know if our leader, our organizer, our person here, if she is willing to come up as well, because we have heard so much wisdom from everybody, but we also, I know all of us mean this. We've already heard it. Each and every one says it as well. Thank you, Anshu Tiwari, for everything you've put together. And please join us as we're finishing up, because I think you are on the background so much, but you should also be seen, because we certainly hear you, we feel you, and we appreciate you. So please join us for the last. If you are, well, I know you're there. I know you're always there. I mean, every day there's going to be some more days. So please, when you leave here today, this is not the last. There is a few more to come. I know that tomorrow's there, and then 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th in that area as well. I think there might be 4 days there. But bring your friends, bring the people, because Anshu is actually not in a situation to do so. But know that we appreciate you, Anshu. I mean, all the speakers here, we know we all feel the same. We wouldn't be here without you. We are here because of you, and you've grown this in the last few years, as we said when we introduced in the beginning, from a small beginning to what it is now with about 75, 80 speakers. And I mean, I've heard this and I've seen this before. Sometimes it's like herding cats, but it's not an easy situation. And you've dedicated yourself for months now. It is not just that you decided it last month, but you've dedicated yourself for months to bring us all together. And we really appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of the speakers that I had the privilege and honor to introduce today and to listen to today and to learn from today. And I'm sure that many of us will stay connected because we are already connected as human beings. And, this would be a shame not to carry this on. But I had something I just wrote down at the end there. It says, maybe you remember when time seemed to stand still, like a moment in life when it felt as if you were frozen in time. Something that happened to you or around you that is so vividly etched in your mind that you can recall it at any time. Sometimes triggered by an event or a person or by something you heard. But regardless, you won't master time like a stopwatch, but you'll learn to steward it like a vintage pocket watch. Deliberate, patient, and rooted in purpose. Keep practicing. Your minutes will become your momentum. And I want to leave you with that. I want to thank all our speeches, our talks, our speakers. And I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I know that there is a lot more to come yet. So we're only in the middle at the moment, but thank each and every one of you. And I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you too. It has been my pleasure and privilege. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Together we are global speakers talk.